You know that feeling when you walk into a place and just instantly relax? But then you can go into another house, maybe it's bigger, fancier, and it just leaves you feeling cold. So what's the deal with that? Well, it turns out there's a kind of hidden engineering behind it all, a real science to creating that feeling of comfort. Let's dive into how you can transform any structure into a true home.
First things first, we've got to draw a really clear line here. A house, that's just the physical stuff, right? It's the concrete, the wires, the roof over your head. But a home, that's a whole different ballgame. A home is a feeling. It's your sanctuary. It's that sense of calm and belonging that we're all really looking for. It's an emotional reaction, not just a pile of bricks.
I love this quote because it just nails it. A home is a machine, sure, but its main job is an emotional one. It should be engineered from the ground up to reduce your stress. So, how do we actually build this machine? Well, let's get into the secrets. Okay, it all starts the second you arrive. That first impression isn't just about curb appeal. It's about consciously designing the transition from the hectic outside world into your personal haven. This idea of an entry sequence is just so powerful when you think about it. The porch, it's like a bridge from the public to the private. Then you hit the foyer, which is your critical decompression zone. It's where you take a breath and mentally shift gears. And the drop zone? Oh, that's the real hero. That's where you contain all the clutter, keys, mail, bags, so that spike of anxiety doesn't follow you into the house.
So once you're inside, it's all about what we can call the engineering of ease. And you know exactly what I mean. Some spaces just feel awkward, right? You're bumping into things, squeezing past furniture, but the best spaces, they're totally fluid. They feel effortless, precisely because you're not even thinking about how you're moving through them.
So how do you actually achieve that? Well, here's the playbook. You want to avoid dead ends that make a space feel cramped and trapping. Instead, you create circular patterns, letting you loop through the main living areas, which gives you this subconscious feeling of freedom. And you establish clear sight lines so you can see from one room to another. It makes the whole home feel connected and bigger, not just like a bunch of closed-off boxes. But a home is so much more than just how you move through it. Now we're going to get into the invisible stuff, the things you feel more than you see. This is all about engineering the atmosphere.
It's such a simple statement, but it's so profoundly true. We experience our world through touch, and a home that feels cold or sterile is usually one where everything is a little too smooth, a little too perfect. Texture is what makes a space feel real and grounded.
And this is the perfect illustration of that point. Just think about a simple door. You know that cheap, hollow door that kind of rattles when you shut it? It feels flimsy, insecure, but a solid core door. It closes with this satisfying, heavy thud. That sound, that weight, it sends a signal to your brain. You are safe, this space is private. That's material integrity, and it makes you feel secure on a subconscious level. Now let's talk about another sense, our hearing. Unwanted noise is a huge hidden stressor. If your house is echoey or you can hear every little sound from the next room, your brain can never fully switch off. Engineering the acoustics with things like good insulation or even just soft materials like rugs and curtains creates a sense of quiet that feels like an absolute luxury. Lighting is absolutely huge when it comes to atmosphere, and great design is so much more than just being able to see in the dark. It's all about creating layers. First, you have your general overhead or ambient light. Then you've got your functional task lighting for things like cooking or reading. And then the real magic happens with accent lighting, the lamps and sconces that create mood, warmth, and character. This brings us to something really cool called the campfire effect. In the evening, when you dim those bright overheads and switch to warmer, lower light sources like table lamps, you're actually triggering a primal sense of safety in your brain. It mimics the protective glow of an ancient campfire, telling our bodies that it's time to wind down and feel secure. And that idea of primal safety is the perfect lead-in to our next section, which is all about fulfilling the deep, instinctual needs that we all have as human beings.
First up is biophilic design. Now that sounds super technical, I know, but the idea is actually really simple. Our brains are literally hardwired to feel calmer when we're connected to nature. It's why a big window framing a view of trees, or using natural materials like wood and stone, or even just having a few houseplants around can actually lower your stress levels and make a space feel vibrant and alive.
And yeah, let's not forget that, at our core, we are animals, and we simply cannot relax if we feel exposed. A great home needs to provide what architects call defensible space. This just means a layout where you feel secure, like having bedrooms tucked away from street noise or being able to see who's at the front door from your main living area. It's all about satisfying that deep-seated instinct to know that you're safe.
This brings up a fascinating paradox. We often chase perfection, but a perfectly brand new, sterile house can feel more like a museum than a home. The Japanese concept of wabi-sabi offers this beautiful alternative. The idea of embracing imperfection. A little scratch on a dining table, a worn spot on a leather chair. These things aren't flaws, they're stories. They give a home its soul. All right, now let's zoom in on the one room that more often than not ties all of these ideas together. The kitchen. The undisputed emotional heart of the modern home.
I mean, think about it. Why does every party, no matter how big the house, always end up in the kitchen? It's because it's become our #1 social anchor. A well-designed kitchen is built for connection. That island with stools isn't just a trend, it's a genius piece of design that lets the person cooking still be part of the conversation, bridging that gap between work and relaxation.
And this quote right here, this just brings it all home, doesn't it? A house is just a collection of materials. But a true home, that's where the smart, intentional engineering successfully merges with your life, with your emotions. It's that magic point where good design creates a great feeling.
So what are the big takeaways here? First, be intentional about your entry sequence. Second, layer your lighting to control the mood. Third, engineer your sound for peace and quiet. Fourth, learn to embrace the imperfections that give your home its character. And above all, in everything you do, chase that feeling of effortless ease.
And that really just leaves us with one final and maybe the most important question to ask yourself. Take a look around your own space. Is it just a collection of rooms that keeps the rain out? Or is it truly a machine that's been engineered to make you feel safe, calm, and completely yourself? Is it just shelter? Or is it really designed for living?